Welcome back. Today we have a new DIY project, also picked up from Costco. We like to shop there a lot, as you'll see in these videos. This is the Yardistry Arbor. This is the regular size. There is a slightly larger one, but this is what the local Costco had available. So we picked this up. My wife fell in love with it when she first saw it. And today we're going to do a quick build and review. I'll let you know how long it took me to build it, what I think about the quality, how easy it was to do. I suspect this is probably going to be more than one person job just because the size of this particular arbor is about 7 foot. So let me get it built and we'll see how it does. All right. Okay, we've unpacked it. It's about 60, 70 pieces, all cedar. There was a slight smell to it when we opened the box, so I'm thinking that's probably the treatment they put on there just to kind of prolong life a little bit. We've got our 4 long legs there. We've got a curved top. Most everything else is going to be forming the lattice work on the side of the arbor, which also gives it strength, so that's not bad. Several little decorative pieces that will go on just to give it a little character. So actually each one of these pieces, since they're cedar, are not very heavy. So even though these are really long 4x4s, they weren't very heavy when we pulled them out of the box, so that's good. The overall weight of the box is about 100 pounds, so this it is heavy. You might need 2 people, but overall, individually, it doesn't seem like it's that hard to work with. Now, since we're going to be mounting this to a grassy area, not to a concrete or a brick base, we're going to have to improvise a little bit, and I wanted to get something that we could drive into the ground, connect the post to. So these run about $9 over at Home Depot. They're called E-Z Mender. They're basically designed if you've got a post that's already set and it needs some support, you can nail this down in the ground and then use the pre-drilled holes at the top to attach your own. So this is just a simple mock-up I did, put it into PowerPoint, took the picture, added what I thought the arbor might look like, just so I could get a feel. Added a couple of things around it, give it some life. But this is kind of the plan. It's pretty hot outside, so I decided, since it's just going to go out the back anyway, I'm going to go ahead and just build what I can indoors in the air conditioning because I don't like a lot of heat. And then as it gets bigger, I'll have to take the pieces outside and put it together. Is the first step here with these. I thought it's important to show you these little pegs that go in. They don't like to go in too well, but you need to push them in. So I actually come up with a little way to help me out with that. So let me show you that. So this is one of the bolts that comes that we'll use later, but for now it's going to serve a different purpose. So since these pegs are actually kind of tight going in, what I found is that if I'll take like a socket, just a long edge socket, put that over it, like I can take the socket, stick the little peg in it, it's about the right size for a 1/4 inch socket, and put that over the hole. Then I have a shaft that I can now use and put the bolt down in and take a hammer and actually tap that through. Once all your pegs are in, it's just a matter of putting the next slats down. They fit down over that. They're going to fit over the plastic peg, and you can just use your hand. Prefer not to use a tool as it may leave a mark. So if you do want to use a hammer, put like a cloth or a towel or a wash rag, just to keep you from actually messing up the woodwork. Okay, the next step is we'll add the framing to the side. So we built the frame, got that part put together. This is going to be the inner trellis part. Now we add these little, they're more decorative than structural. And you kind of got to line them up by eye. And then you just attach them to the top. They do have pre-drilled holes here, just not under here. So there'll be 4 of these, 2 on each one, and then we'll be ready for the big posts. Okay, so here you got to actually use a tape measure. Notice we got the 3 hole sides up. This is where we're going to attach the trellises. So you need to measure each one 18. I'm just using one of the screws to mark it. You could use a pencil or a pen. And that's going to be the top point for our trellis, just so that it's even once we get the whole thing put together. Okay. Now this next part, you're going to want 2 people to help. Okay. Recording in. Tell me when. Okay, so the second person is going to hold this for you. There's 3 pre-drilled holes. We're going to use the 3-inch number 8 screws that they provided. There's our mark that we made earlier. We're lining the top up with that. We're leaving about a 1/4 inch gap on the side. Again, this is one of those things where you have to eyeball it yourself. All right, so we're gonna put this together and we'll be right back. So we flipped it over. This is where the second person came in handy. We lined it up with our 18 inches up there, 1/4 inch on either side. Now we're securing it. So we'll be putting this member on here. This is a little bit for support, a little bit decorative. To do this, they're going to use these long bolts with a lock washer and a washer on them. And on the back side is kind of a wood nut. It's got little spikes that'll grab into the bottom of this as you tighten, and it'll keep it from moving. So that's the next step. right, so the next piece is this arched piece that's going to connect our two sides. And it's got this decorative piece that goes out front. This is also a little bit on the challenge because you have to use your eyeball, try to line up this long flat side with this top flat side. There's no holes pre-drilled, so it really is just eyeballing it. I'm trying to use the table as a way to give me a straight edge. Start there. Stop. Okay, we got the sides on. We've got these initial arches on. We just need to finish it off by putting these pieces on. They'll give it a little extra strength and some decoration. The issue with them, not issue, but just something to be aware of, they do have a pre-drilled hole here for the 4-inch screws that were provided, but there are no guide holes on the arch. So it's up to you to kind of figure out where you're going to space them. There are 5. So one right in the middle, and then break the other 2 distances down, approximately 18 to 19 inches. And then we're going to put that on, then we'll move it in place. So to do the archery blind, we actually got a second one and put it together this weekend also. So if the camera person will just turn around to that, you can see that's the archery blind hanging up there on the steel wire between the two. We pull that open and put the target in front of it. It catches the arrow. We've already tried that out. All right, so for the review. So this came in a really long, like 86-inch box. We were able to get it in the back of our Subaru to get it transported home. We did have to have assistance getting it in the car. It is, I think, 105 pounds is what it's listed at. So we got it. We actually got 2, as you found out. So we got those into the garage. We unpacked it. We pulled everything down to the basement. We have a walkout in the basement, so we could build most of it in the basement and then pull it outside to put it together at the end. So packing wise, it was straightforward, simple. Things were grouped nicely. Instructions were great. They filled with all the right drawings. So even though there's a couple of pieces that look similar, You could tell by the drawings which ones were supposed to go where. Each piece actually had a stamped number, part number on there, so it made it easy too to double check yourself. If I had something I would recommend, at the very front they have an inventory of all your screws and hardware and all that kind of stuff, and they have an S number. Now that S number is not on the bag itself. So when you're reading along the instructions and you get the S number to use this particular screw, you have to go back to the front and reference which one they're talking about because it's not labeled on the bag. So at the beginning, if you just take a black marker, label your bags, you should be fine. Other than that, that was the main complication. I took video of the little plastic pegs you had to put together. So if we look at the cost, the packaging, the ease of build, and by the way, this took me, the first one, like 3 hours. This one went together just a little bit faster, and I had to make sure I had hands to help me. So overall, I give this about an A-, and that was simply because those plastic pieces were a pain. I had to figure those out. That took me like 20 minutes to figure out. So once I got those figured out, it was a lot better, and the screw definitions could have been better. But overall, still A-, worth the buy. If you're interested in seeing more like this, give it a thumbs up. Give us a comment. The last one we posted, we had several people say they bought something similar or they had other recommendations. We love those comments, so keep those coming. And if you have anything that you want us to maybe go buy, not just from Costco to build it for you, let us know. If you have any other suggestions, let us know as well. Until then, we'll see you next time. Bye.